is a presentation of Fox Sports.
The Brewers were successful away from Milwaukee, but are very happy to be back in familiar territory among the tailgaters and owned, especially here at Miller Park, as they are set to take on the Atlanta Braves and open up a week-long homestand. One of the most prolific offenses in all of baseball is starting to live up to its reputation as the Brewer Bats came alive on the road after a terrible start where they were shut out three games in San Diego. Our news and notes: 6-4 on the road trip after a 1-3 start. Double D Doug Davis goes for his second consecutive victory on the Brewers season, and they'll face the future of the Braves organization, a tough righty in Tommy Hanson. Hi, everybody. Welcome as we continue our broadcast here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The Brewers and Braves, Jerry Augustine and Craig Kashan on board with you. And I'll tell you what, the last time the Brewers went through this rotation, it seemed to be victory after victory after victory. Doug Davis, Dave Bush, the only one not to get a win among the group, and Chris Narveson got 2 out on the road. They'll have to continue that now. Doug Davis is going to get another try here, second consecutive chance at getting a win.
Well, you know, like Bill Schroeder says, when you go into a game, the momentum comes from that starting pitcher, and hopefully tonight, Doug can start it and bring him to a victory.
Well, yeah, an outstanding effort against Los Angeles on the road, so Double D back at it. Now, the Brewer hitters enjoyed eating out on the road. We'll see if they prefer home cooking. Bill and Brian set the stage, plus the first pitch as our coverage of the Brewers and Braves continues on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Light Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. Roof is closed tonight. The Brewers are glad to be back home, although the standings wouldn't show it. Milwaukee just 4-8 here at Miller Park. They're hoping for a turnaround here this week. They've got the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. It is a 6-game homestand. And hi, everybody. Welcome from Miller Park. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us tonight. We're getting set for a terrific matchup here. Tommy Hanson on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. He's a tough customer. He's one of the best in the National League. But the Brewers, the way they're swinging the bat lately, I don't think they're intimidated by anyone.
It's been amazing to watch these guys up and down that batting order. They have been contributing. They're first or near the top in every major offensive category in the National League, including on-base percentage. They've been able to take their walks. They lead the league in home runs. Even the guys coming off the bench have contributed in a big way. Joe Inglet, Craig Counsell, Jody Garrett with the big cycle the other day. So things are clicking on all cylinders. They're going to have to. They're facing 3 pretty good starters.
Well, it's the Brewers and the Atlanta Braves, and Milwaukee trying to make it 4 straight and trying to make it a big win here for Doug Davis in their home surroundings. First pitch coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And the Brewers and the Atlanta Braves ready to go at it. Statue of Hank Aaron out in front of Miller Park. And, of course, the Milwaukee Braves left town for Atlanta. Bobby Cox, the manager. That's Cox with an X. For those of you on Capitol Hill watching this broadcast, 13-18 record. The Atlanta Braves are struggling. They're 6 games back of the Phillies right now. And coming off a series loss against the Philadelphia Phillies yesterday. Give you Bobby Cox's starting lineup. The Atlanta Braves lead off with Omar Infante. He's in there for Yunel Escobar. Martin Prado bats second. Chipper Jones back in the lineup after a day off yesterday. In the middle is Troy Gloss, Brian McCann, and Melky Cabrera. McCann has terrific numbers against Doug Davis in his career. And the bottom 3 in Bobby Cox's order is Matt Diaz, Nate McLeod hitting 8th, and Tommy Hanson, their terrific young hurler, bats 9th. Defensively for the Milwaukee Brewers, behind Doug Davis, it's Ryan Braun, Jim Edmonds, and Joe Inglet in the outfield. The infield is Casey McGee, Alcides Escobar, Ricky Weeks, and Prince Fielder. And George Gutaris on his 27th birthday, catching Doug Davis, the Blaine's Farmers Fleet defense. And the crew takes the field. Doug Davis on the mound tonight, Rock. He's looking for back-to-back wins for Milwaukee.
Yeah, pretty good his last time out against the Dodgers. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs. Only walked a pair and struck out 4. Had good command of pretty much all 4 of his pitches. Cut fastball very good. So Doug looking for another repeat performance of that start in Los Angeles here tonight to get this road trip, or I should say homestand, off on a good note.
Yeah, it feels like a road trip. That's all the Brewers have had, it seems like, is road trips. Tonight for our Mercedes-Benz scouting report, we went to the catcher, George Kataris, about his starting pitcher tonight.
The biggest thing was he was attacking the hitters and get throwing strikes, and along with throwing all 4 pitches for strikes, kind of kept them off balance, so it allowed him to succeed.
Well, yeah, he threw into the 6th inning and only had 98 pitches, which is pretty good for Doug Davis. He has a tendency to get that pitch count up very quickly, and hopefully he's not going to have that issue here tonight.
His last start against the Dodgers, and Doug Davis finally in the win circle. This was back on Wednesday at Dodger Stadium. And Double D went 5 1/3 in that game. He gave up 3 earned runs. Took him 98 pitches to get through those 5 1/3 innings. A couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. And Davis winning with his father in attendance that night, Mike. And I know Mike is watching tonight and hoping he's making it 2 in a row.
Absolutely. It was a rough first inning for Doug Davis, but he was able to settle down after that first and pitched pretty well.
Matter of fact, I'm surprised Doug Davis didn't fly his dad here tonight. Just
Maybe
to keep
he did.
It alive.
Maybe he did. You don't know.
Maybe snuck in the back door. All right, we're ready to play ball as Omar Infante will lead off. And just like he did yesterday, he swings at the first pitch. Instead of a double, it's an out tonight. 1 pitch, 1 out for Doug Davis. Now this Atlanta ball club not swinging the bats all that well. Our umpiring crew tonight, calling balls and strikes, Ed Hickox, Fielden Colbreth, Marty Foster, and Gary Cedarstrom on the bases. Atlanta losing to Philadelphia 5-3 yesterday. Cole Hamels beat Kenshin Kawakami. And the Braves dropping 2 out of 3 to the Phillies in Philadelphia. They're in the middle of a 10-game road trip. This is the final leg for Bobby Cox on that long road trip that covers 11 days. And Rock, they are without one of the premier players in the major leagues, not just rookies, but Jason Hayward. That's a lot of production out of their lineup tonight.
Yeah, kind of disappointing. I mean, all the accolades and everything you hear about that young man, you certainly like to see him in the lineup, but it makes Doug Davis's job a bit easier. Leads the Atlanta Braves in RBIs. The Braves, the 2nd fewest runs in the National League, actually the 3rd fewest runs in the National League, have not been able to put much together. 121 runs, and that's it. Next to last in team batting average.
There's the 20-year-old rookie, Jason Hayward. He was the rookie of the month in the major leagues. He's not playing again tonight, has a groin strain, and the talk is that he'll be back tomorrow. He went through the complete pregame activity today. And if he comes out of it all right, Bobby Cox said he'll put him in the lineup tomorrow. But that's a lot of production out of the lineup. Rock mentioned the RBIs. Also 8 home runs from Jason Hayward as well. One of the Braves swinging the bat well is the man at the plate, Martin Prado. Prado batting .312. Has a home run, 7 runs batted in. He's the only Atlanta Brave in the lineup with a batting average over 300 to start this day.
Yeah, but just doesn't have the run production because he's in the number 2 spot in the batting order.
Line drive foul in the seats.
And the issues with the Atlanta Braves are the middle of their order. It starts with Chipper Jones. Troy Gloss, Brian McCann, really not that productive. Unlike the Brewers, middle of the order.
Yeah, 3, 4, and 5. Stark contrast in this series this week. The 2-2 pitch. Big curveball in there for a strike. A 64-mile-an-hour gravity ball for Doug Davis. And it's 2 up and 2 down as Double D picks up his first strikeout.
And that was a pitch that was very good for him in Los Angeles. After that first inning, able to drop that curveball in and able to catch the inside corner.
You got to have some guts to throw that pitch, right?
It's so slow you can't pull the trigger.
the ultimate change of pace. Here's Chipper Jones. He was out yesterday. Jones, a slight tweak of his groin, and he missed yesterday's game, although late in that game he was in the on-deck circle ready to pinch hit. Had the Braves put the tying run to the plate, it never came, and Jones did not play. He's banged up as well, just not 100%.
Yeah, hard to believe that you look up on that scoreboard and Chipper Jones in mid-May, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs.
Yeah, just a .226 batting average as well. Jones won the batting title just 2 seasons ago. Troy Gloss will be next. Jones trying to give him an at-bat in his first inning. One thing Jones has done a lot of is walk. He's second in the National League in that category. And he takes ball 4 here. That's his 25th walk. And that puts him to the top of the league with Chase Utley. Well, Rock mentioned it, 3, 4, and 5 between these two teams. The Braves, not much going on there between Jones, Gloss, and McCann. But between Braun, Fielder, and McGee, some of the best numbers you'll see in all of the National League.
Yeah, and Prince really hasn't gotten going yet, and I mean, those 3 have still been pretty productive.
If you combine the RBI numbers for McGee and Braun, each have driven in 28. That is the top tandem in the National League to start the day. So that's the backdrop to this series as we get underway. The Braves not hitting much. The Brewers have been. See how it plays out. Troy Gloss, .252 batting average. He drove in a couple of runs yesterday in Philadelphia. Has 2 home runs and 18 driven in. No balls and 2 strikes on Gloss. Chipper Jones at first. And not a threat to run. The Braves don't do a lot of running, period. Bobby Cox is in the group of managers that does not want to make outs on the bases and doesn't chance it very often.
Well, 11 for 17. That'll keep you from running and stealing bases. 65%. That's a dreadful percentage.
Meanwhile, the Brewers stealing bases at a 92% success rate. 13th year in the big leagues. Gloss missed most of last year after shoulder surgery. He was with St. Louis a year ago. Tried to come back, but the Cardinals were in the pennant race, and Gloss really didn't get much time as he swings and misses. Davis pulls the string on him and strikes him out. So that's a good start for Doug Davis. And here come the Brewers. We'll see if those bats are still alive, facing Tommy Hanson when we come back. And Maka's lineup here tonight. Ricky Weeks leads off. Joe Inglet bats second with Ryan Braun in the 3-hole. Braun against Tommy Hanson, 3 hits and a couple of home runs. Hanson made his major league debut last year against Milwaukee. In the middle of the order, it's Fielder, McGee, and Edmonds. Escobar, Cotaras, and Davis rounded out.
Well, run support has been an issue for Tommy Hanson. In both of his losses, the Atlanta Braves have been shut out. Other than that, he's been throwing the baseball very well. Last time out, 6 innings, give up 4 runs against the Nationals.
Here's Ricky Weeks to start it, and a first pitch strike from Hanson. Weeks coming in with 5 home runs this year. He had a good road trip, batting average up to .282. And he's driven in 19 runs from that leadoff spot. One of the most productive leadoff hitters in the game right now. Shane Victorino has the most RBIs from the leadoff spot. He's been hitting leadoff while Jimmy Rollins is on the disabled list. But Weeks in some pretty tall company there. Ricky hit one of the longest home runs of the year in Arizona on Friday.
And one of the longest of the year in Arizona until Ryan Braun hit one longer the next day. Hit one off the scoreboard in center field. So, Ricky Weeks playing second fiddle to Ryan Braun. But you're right about Ricky Weeks. He's been getting on base at a pretty good clip, a .390 on base percentage.
He strikes out. Hanson has a terrific breaking ball, and he punches out Ricky Weeks. The scouting report brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, and it comes from Dale Swain.
Hanson, good arm. He can get it to 96, stays about 93, fairly straight fastball. Really good command of his slider, especially to right-handed hitters. Keeps it down and away really well. Mixes in a curveball. Doesn't really use the changeup too much. Just a good arm, good live arm. Knows what he's doing with the slider. I think that makes him very effective.
Dale Swain, Brewers hitting coach on Hanson. Joe Inglet on the first pitch, grounds out to short.
Yeah, third time that the Brewers have seen Tommy Hanson. Actually, Hanson made his major league debut in Atlanta last year against Milwaukee. Gave up 3 different 2-run homers, but got a no decision.
That was on June 7th, and despite not pitching in the big leagues until June, he's still ranked among National League rookie leaders in wins. Ryan Braun had a good day against Hanson that day, greeting him rudely to the big leagues. Braun homering not once but twice off Hanson. 1 to left, 1 to right. That pretty much sums up Ryan Braun's power, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the way he's been going this year. He's been incredible. He's such a tough out because he covers both sides of the plate very well. It's tough to defend him. Everybody plays him straight away.
Is that breaking ball from Hanson?
Yeah, there's the curveball, and he got Ricky Weeks on a slider.
Hanson last year finished 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting. Actually garnered 2 first-place votes. Did a lot of damage from June 7th on. That first game was rough, but after that, he was lights out. Ranked among National League rookie leaders in wins, starts, strikeouts, and innings pitched. Bobby Cox not ready to anoint him the ace of the staff, but he is in the Giovanni Gallardo position maybe from a year ago.
Yeah, good young arm. 11-4 last year, ERA under 3, and Bobby Cox feels as though every time Tommy Hanson takes the mound, he has a pretty good chance to win. Don't need too many runs.
2 outs in the inning. 2 up, 2 down for Hanson with a strikeout. And a 3-1 to Braun is fouled away. Well, Ryan Braun right now leads the National League in runs, hits, and multi-hit games. He's second in the league in batting average, total base hits, on-base percentage, and runners in scoring position average. I mean, pretty much every major statistical breakdown offensively, Ryan Braun is at the top or near the top in the National League.
Well, and amazingly, Ryan's been a guy that strikes out about 100 times every year, a little bit more, but he's only struck out 17 times this year. One of the reasons why he's been so consistent, he's putting the ball in play, and because he's so fast, he hits those little dribblers in the infield. They end up being hits.
I think Prince Fielder walking 100 times last year, the first time in franchise history, is rubbed off. Right now, the Brewers are second in the league as a team in walks. As Braun pops this one up, Troy Gloss in foul territory will make the catch, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down for Hanson. We head to the second at Miller Park.
Joe Inglet is appearing in his 19th game for the Brewers this season, but making his third start in right field. Ken Maka has to be pleased with what Joe Inglet has been able to bring to this team, primarily an infielder during spring training. Joe Inglet has given Maka an opportunity to get him in the lineup in several positions, and he said that he wanted to get Joe some more at-bats because the way Ricky Reitz has started off, there's no way he's going to get opportunities at second base. So it's a good thing that Joe can play several positions, and hopefully he can continue to make the most of his opportunity.
Yeah, and how about that? Even with the injury to Carlos Gomez, at-bats are tough to come by in the Brewers outfield right now.
Yep, and Jody Garrett owes a big debt of gratitude to Joe Inglet. Joe Inglet came up in the 9th inning in Arizona, got a base hit, and allowed Jody Garrett to get the triple.
Extended the game for Jody Garrett in the first cycle for the Brewers since Chad Moeller back in 2004. Well, Doug Davis, a scoreless first inning, had a pair of strikeouts. Punched out Martin Prado and Troy Gloss. Facing Brian McCann now. McCann, Cabrera, and Diaz for the Braves. Brian McCann is back to his struggles with his eyesight, and for the first time, he has glasses on once again. Remember last year, Rock, he had all kind of issues with his vision. He had glasses he'd use to catch and then glasses he'd use to hit. Thought he had it corrected in the offseason, had LASIK surgery done on his left eye, but now it's the right eye that's giving him trouble. And
it makes it hard to hit, makes it hard to do anything out there when you can't see right. Whether it's depth perception or peripheral vision, things get fuzzy. Corey Hart was battling that in spring training. Haven't heard much about that during the regular season, but it makes it awfully difficult.
So McCann still searching right now. And it can get in your head. Let's face it, when you're not seeing well and you're wondering, did I really see that pitch? For a hitter who depends on picking up the laces of the baseball, especially breaking ball spin and what have you, if that eyesight is not sharp, that just puts you in a serious hole before you even take a swing.
Yeah, it's hard enough to hit, major league pitching when you can see the ball very well, let alone having troubles picking it up.
2 balls, 2 strikes on McCann. And Davis misses down and out. 3-2. So I guess if you're Doug Davis, and he certainly knows the glasses situation for McCann, you want to make sure he earns his way aboard. Three-two pitch. And a bouncer to Weeks. Might have swung at ball 4. And one gone here in the second. Well, this season, as far as ranks go, you see the Braves near the bottom. 3.9 runs per game. We're talking all of Major League Baseball here. 30 teams in baseball. The Brewers are second right now, 5.8 runs per game. And the Brewers, of course, a .275 team batting average. That is the best in the National League. Third best in all of baseball.
You know, those stolen bases for the Brewers, 22. They're 22 out of 24. Those are the kind of numbers that Ken Maka likes to see. Does not like making outs on the bases.
Well, it's impressive that the Brewers, a National League club with the pitcher hitting, can still be that elevated among Major League rankings.
Pitchers have been raking, though.
That's
Chris Narveson with a line drive. He drove in a run yesterday with 2 outs. A man at second base.
Yeah,
Randy Wolf has 7 hits.
Gallardo.
Yep, Yo's got the home run and 4 ribbies.
You're right. Melky Cabrera. Bouncer. Oh, and Weeks bobbles. Got to hurry now. The throw is not in time.
It looked like he was going to get rung up. And it looked like Fielding Culberth was going to ring him up, but he gave the safe sign, and that will be an error on Ricky Weeks. Haven't seen too many miscues by Ricky so far this year. He has been playing a stellar defense this year. Only the second error committed by Weeks on a very routine play. Looked like Fielding Culberth got it right.
Error number 23 for the Brewers as a team. In this game, number 32 of the year. Won't make Willie Randolph too happy. He handles the infielders. So a base runner for Matt Diaz.
The right side of the infield has been very good for the Brewers. I mean, no errors for Prince Fielder. He had one earlier in the road trip, but it got taken away. They gave it to Casey McGee, but only 2 errors on the right side of the diamond. A big improvement defensively for Ricky and Prince.
Diaz a little late. No balls and 2 strikes on the Braves left fielder. Well, Diaz getting some playing time here. He and Melky Cabrera sharing the duties on the corner outfield spots. Typically, Jason Hayward has been in right field, and he's been batting in the 6th hole for Atlanta most of the year. Ball and 2 strikes on Diaz.
Yeah, Bobby Cox trying anything he can to get some runs on the board. And it makes it much more difficult when he is not in the lineup. Jason Hayward. You always want the young kids. You hear a lot about Jason Hayward so far this year. Disappointing that Brewer fans can't see him tonight.
Wait a minute. Does he ring him up or not? How about Ed Hickox? He was ready to ring him up and then said, no, you know what? On second thought, that's a ball.
And maybe a bit high. I mean, how do you take that pitch? Man.
Check out the home plate umpire here. He is in the ring position and a line drive to right. Joe Inglet is there for it. So Diaz flies out. Second out in the inning. Well, Rocky mentioned Jason Hayward. He is likely to be in the lineup tomorrow. This guy is off to some kind of start. He had a game winner on opening day. 8 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Hayward, you figure at some point will start to hit his way up in the lineup, because right now we talked about the struggles of the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Atlanta. Hayward's hitting down at the bottom, 6th. Mostly, sometimes 7th.
Just to ease him in a little bit. Bobby Cox is a guy that, is very careful with his rookies, even when they have had some early success. Hayward reminds you a lot, the way he stands up there at the plate, the crime dog, Fred McGriff.
Yeah.
He really does.
Good call, former Brave.
Yeah.
Well, maybe tomorrow we'll see him. There's a strike on the corner to Nate McLouth. Times have changed for McLouth. He hit leadoff most of the year last year once he was traded from Pittsburgh to Atlanta. And now hitting 8th in this Braves lineup. Just a 176 batting average for McLouth. He has just 15 hits this year and 85 total at bats.
Yeah, he put together some pretty good years with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Did pretty well when he first came over to Atlanta, and really has had a tough time.
McLouth made his Atlanta debut against Milwaukee last year. Able to check his swing, says Gary Cederstrom. 1-2 the count.
And McLouth with only 1 stolen base. I mean, when he was with the Pirates, this is a guy that could steal some bases and make things happen. But when you've only got 15 hits, it makes it tough.
And a manager who doesn't necessarily believe in the stolen base. Curveball, broken bat, long run. That ball is going to be caught by Escobar. He had a long way to go, but the speedy Escobar runs it down. The inning is over, and now we're anxious to see Prince Fielder. He homered yesterday on his birthday. Can he follow it up tonight against Tommy Hanson? No score as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Prince Fielder ready to lead off for the Milwaukee Brewers. Yesterday, Fielder with the pink bat on his birthday, on Mother's Day, goes deep. Powerball home run number 4 for Prince Fielder. And found that home run stroked on the road trip, did Fielder. Brewers finished that road trip 6-4. And after a 1-3 beginning where they were shut out in 3 of the first 4 games of that road trip, that was some kind of comeback.
Yeah, I mean, just like the first long road trip that the Brewers had this year.
The Fielder with 4. The Brewers has a team with 37. Braun and McGee still at the top with 6 apiece. Ricky Weeks hit his 5th in Arizona on Friday, and then Fielder hit his 4th yesterday. Milwaukee leads the National League in home runs at this point with 37. That was pretty well hit to center, but McLouth will settle under it. Prince might have just missed it on the bat a little bit. Fielder is out. 1 gone in the second, and here comes Casey McGee. It was a late rally yesterday by the Brewers. A tight game, then McGee delivered big time in the 8th. Talking about a guy who can use every inch of the ballpark, Casey McGee.
Yeah, most of his home runs have come to the opposite field, and most of his home runs have been big ones. Greg Zahn would follow up on the next pitch and get a home run. Back-to-back home runs for the Brewers for the first time this year. That was yesterday.
And Casey gets under this one. Melky Cabrera hauls it in for out number 2. 2 quick outs for Tommy Hanson in the second inning.
Hey, remember, stay after the Brewers-Braves game on Wednesday and catch the UWM Panthers baseball team take on the Northern Illinois Huskies. For details, call 414-902-4000. So a doubleheader here at Miller Park on Wednesday.
Seems like when there are college games here or high school games that there's usually an extra inning game from the big league side of it. I'm just saying. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, come on, you don't want to start that, do you?
I'm just saying. It's a matinee Wednesday here at Miller Park. Final game of the series against Atlanta. Edmonds on the first pitch, breaks his bat. That one is going to fall, a base hit. So Edmonds finds a hole out there in the triangle.
And Jimmy had a rough road trip. He wasn't able to play for the beginning part of the trip in San Diego. Stiffness in his back. Had a rough series in Los Angeles. Did hit a home run, though. Was able to get one off the end of the bat right there. A fastball down and in. Able to get enough of it to sneak it into center field.
So Edmonds is aboard, the first Brewers hit, and here is Alcides Escobar. Escobar comes in batting .222, has 1 home run and 11 driven in. His home run was here at Miller Park against the Pirates. The Brewers would like to see Escobar get on base a little more. Close play over there. Edmonds just back. Like to see Escobar get on. Obviously the batting average is what it is right now. They feel like he'll be a 280, 290, possibly a 300 hitter in the big leagues. He has been in the minor leagues. More selective at the plate, and especially with a pitch like that is what Dale Swaim is asking out of Alcides Escobar.
Yeah, well, Ken Maka is being very careful not to have things snowball on Escobar. When he's swinging the bat well, he's in the lineup every day, but when he feels as though he's scuffling a little bit, he'll throw Craig Counsell out there. That's why it's so nice to have a guy like Counsell on your bench.
Ball and a strike. Hanson with a good move checks on Edmonds again.
You know, although Escobar has a lot of confidence, he's had a lot of success everywhere he's been. You don't want things to get out of hand. You don't want him to lose that confidence. Well, you sit him down a couple of days and let him watch.
Little bouncer towards short. Infante steps on the bag for the out. The inning is over, and Hanson has 2 scoreless. On our way to the 3rd inning. The official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin, and by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. Miller Park, Milwaukee on a Monday night. Yeah, the roof closed. It is a cool, windy night outside Miller Park. Temperatures dipping down into the high 30s tonight, Rock, they say.
Got a frog in your throat, or you're just making a point?
High 30s.
Yeah, far cry from where the Brewers were over the weekend.
Where it was 96 degrees in Arizona. That's all right. We got a roof.
Yeah.
Green grass.
For now, anyway.
Nice and comfortable here inside Miller Park.
It'll turn around. Just wait.
Oh, yeah. I'm optimistic. July's right around the corner. There's a bouncing ball to McGee. Tommy Hanson is retired. How about our carsoup.com email the booth question tonight? Comes from David in Grafton. And Rocky wants to know, is there a manager in waiting if Bobby Cox truly does retire? Well, Bobby says he's out. This is it.
Right.
29th season as a big league manager.
And the Braves are being very quiet about any possible replacement for Bobby Cox. Whether Bobby Cox has to say his replacement or not, I would imagine he's going to have something to say about it. But he does have two guys on his coaching staff that would be pretty good candidates. Terry Pendleton, Eddie Perez. They think a lot of Eddie Perez. Eddie Perez manages in winter ball.
Well, what is amazing about Bobby Cox is the managerial tree, if you will. Those who have managed after they have played or coached for Bobby Cox. There are currently 3 active managers who have played or coached for or with Bobby Cox, including Cito Gaston. He was a former player of Bobby's back in '78 and now the manager of the Blue Jays. Ozzie Guillen with the White Sox, and Freddie Gonzalez, who is a resident of Atlanta, and many feel that he'll be among the candidates interviewed for that job. I'll tell you, they have a minor league manager as well, a AAA manager by the name of Dave Brundage, who has long been thought of as one of the best minor league skippers in baseball. Dale Swaim knows him well, and we'll see if Dave Brundage is in that mix as well. And of course, 2 former Brewers managers coached for Bobby Cox. Ned Yost and Jerry Royster played for Bobby in the late 70s.
Ned Yost in the Kansas City Royals front office, and Jerry Royster a scout. Freddie Gonzalez is still under contract for 1 more year after this year. Of course, that doesn't mean anything. You got enough money, everybody's available, right?
That's a good point. Shouldn't go anointing people jobs under contract. Those are just rumors, right, Rock? That's what we read on the blogs.
Yeah, well, I will tell you this. I mean, I asked a couple of the broadcasters over there with the Atlanta Braves, and I know Don Sutton pretty well, and I know Joe Simpson and Chip Carey, and they swear that they don't know anything. I mean, the Braves have been very quiet about who the possible replacement candidates are.
Well, and rightly so. You can imagine Atlanta, as they struggle here, 5 games under 500, that managerial talk swirls, and it's something that Bobby Cox, out of respect to him, certainly doesn't want to deal with. But he announced before the season it was his final year. 25th season as the Braves manager, 29th season as a major league manager. He also managed the Toronto Blue Jays.
Hall of Famer? Gotta be.
No manager in the history of the game has ever been ejected more than Bobby Cox. And for that alone, he should be in the Hall of Fame, right?
And when you consider Leo DeRocher, Earl Weaver, Billy Martin, of course, they didn't have the tenure of Bobby Cox. Bobby Cox has been around as long as just about any manager has been around.
Well, for players, they talk about a Hall of Fame player as one who dominated his era. And I think for a manager, it plays along the same line, because Bobby Cox, as a manager with his teams, dominated an era plus.
Only 1 World Series with the Braves, though.
14 consecutive titles, division titles. Prado went, says Ed Hitchcox, and Doug Davis with a strikeout for out number 2.
But he did get the 1. Bobby Cox does have the 1 World Series. He's got that ring on his finger. A good pitch by Doug Davis, a curveball in the outside corner. Prado tried to hold up, nothing doing. Doug's got good command. And you have these Atlanta Braves hitters looking on the outer half of the plate, and he's been able to zip a couple of fastballs in on their hands.
So here's Chipper Jones with a runner at first. Two outs for Jones. He walked his last time up. And he pops this one up. A lazy swing from Jones. Ricky Weeks has it for the out. Doug Davis, 3 shutout innings on the board against the Atlanta Braves. Here come the Brewers. We head to the bottom of the third.
How did it get started, and what are the benefits of it?
We have a great partnership with the Brewers. What we have is the Club Goodwill section out there in left field. It's a great chance for everyone to come to the game. They offer same-day sales for seats there. And it's a great partnership to be able to be part of the Brewers and cement ourselves in the community that we're in. So,
well, this is a great opportunity for donations for Goodwill, spring cleaning. Everyone wants to clean out those closets. Just tell us, how can we donate to Goodwill, and what are some of the locations?
We have multiple locations throughout Milwaukee and the other areas, so we offer convenient extended hours for everybody to come and donate to, and it is a great time for spring cleaning. So, you know, it's a chance to get out, give your donation to somebody that can use it. We all know that everything that all the donations we take in help support our mission and provide jobs, and right now there's a lot of people without jobs, so.
Well, tell us a little bit about the donation drive here at Miller Park next Saturday, real quickly, about what you guys have going on.
We have a donation drive here at Miller Park next Saturday, and you bring in a bag of gently used clothing, and you'll get a free ticket to the June 29th Houston Astro game for every bag you bring in. So,
well, thanks for your time, and good luck with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's turn it back up to the booth.
All right, Telly, thanks a lot. They had a great cause. Brewers are glad to be a part of it. And we hope you'll round up your clothes. Not only does it clothe those who need it, but it also keeps that merchandise out of landfills, you know, and that's the second part of that.
You betcha.
So we're glad to be partnered up with Goodwill this year.
I had some clothes in my suitcase that belonged in the landfill today.
That's a good point. 11-day road trip.
Sitting in there since San Diego.
Yeah, that suitcase rolled itself in the house today.
My goodness.
There's a breaking ball, and Davis, as if he's pleased to be done with that at bat. 2 up and 2 down. Nasty stuff from Hanson.
Yeah, elect your favorite Brewers to the 2010 All-Star team. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers now through July 1st at Brewers.com.
Top of the order now, Ricky Weeks. Weeks was out to an all-star beginning his first 3 weeks of the season, cooled off somewhat, and now has a good bat going once again. Ricky struck out in the first inning. Hanson starting to get settled in here, and that is not what you want to have happen.
He's got such good command of all three of his pitches. You heard Dale talk about the fact that he really didn't have a changeup to go with, but he will change speeds on his curveball, and he can throw it for strikes when he does that. And then he'll give you 94 to 96 with a fastball. And it looks like he hides it very well. Doesn't give you that long arm action going behind the back. It's almost as if he picks it up and right from his ear and gets good velocity on it and is able to locate it down pretty well.
2 balls, no strikes on Weeks. In the air to right, playable for Cabrera. And a quick inning for Tommy Hanson. The Brewers go in order. We head to the 4th.
Check in with the crew in the community. Earlier tonight, the Milwaukee Brewers, along with Major League Baseball and the Susan G. Komen for the Cure, honored Denise Hunt as the winner of the Honorary Batgirl contest for the Brewers. She was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2004. She beat the disease, but just days before her 5th year of being cancer-free, she was diagnosed again. She was able to beat it again and has been cancer-free since September of 2009. She is now motivated to spread awareness wherever she can. Guys, great story, and we're going to catch up with Denise here in just a bit.
All right, Telly, thanks a lot. Yeah, we saw Denise before the game. She did a great job, and Honorary Batgirl. We saw that across baseball yesterday for Mother's Day, but because the Brewers weren't home, and those teams who are playing their home games tonight, they've extended it. Well, quite a story yesterday in Oakland as Dallas Braden threw a perfect game yesterday. And as that game progressed and the story continued to flow about Dallas Braden, the fact that he lost his mom to cancer and his grandmother was there, and what a special moment. The 19th perfect game in Major League history.
Well, it had to be a special day for the Braden family, or on Mother's Day to boot, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, it's fitting. He's had a tough go of it. Grew up without a father. Mother died when he was in high school, so yeah, good for him.
Nice moment yesterday. And that probably goes down as the greatest Mother's Day moment so far. As Gloss strikes out, Doug Davis still dealing, and we send it back to Telly Hughes.
Thanks, B.A. Well, Denise, we heard your story. Beating cancer twice. What a remarkable achievement. What was the will behind that to continue to fight a disease that not came once but twice for you?
When you face something like this, you're given 2 choices. You can either fight with all you got, or you can give up and have a pity party. And I just decided I was going to fight. I have amazing family, friends, and coworkers that give me a lot of strength to keep going really positive. And actually, unfortunately, I'm fighting it for a 3rd time right now. So
Well, we definitely wish you luck with that. You'll be able to beat it twice. We know you'll be able to do it again. But just talk about your night tonight, being able to be the honorary Batgirl. Have you had a lot of fun with that?
Oh, this is awesome. This is so exciting. Thanks to my son, Dustin. He entered the story that won the contest, and he's a big Brewer fan, so this has been a lot of fun for us to share this together. It's truly a lot of memories we're going to have forever. So.
Well, thank you very much, and we're honored that you were able to join us, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right, B.A. and Rock, let's swing it back up to you.
All right, Telly, thanks. And thanks to Denise Hunt. Over 1,000 entries for the contest. And it was her son who entered. Mom, nice going. And there's Denise before the game, honorary Batgirl. Two and two and a soft liner to Weeks. That ball bounced, and Weeks will throw him out. McCann is retired. Doug Davis has retired the first two in this fourth. The only base runners in this game against Davis. Jones walked, Infante walked, and Cabrera reached on an error.
And Tommy Hanson, not the only pitcher tonight that's had pretty good command of the strike zone. They do it in much different ways. Tommy Hanson, a power pitcher, and Doug Davis, one of those guys that has to work the corners. And he's been doing a pretty good job of that. That fastball in the outside corner has been a good pitch for him tonight and in his last start. It really sets up the cutter in to right-handed hitters. And that was the pitch that was giving him a lot of problems early in the season. He got off to a very bad start because he just couldn't command that fastball away.
2 balls and a strike on Cabrera. That was a big trade in the offseason. Melky Cabrera from the Yankees to the Braves for Javier Vasquez. Braves also got a great young talent, a pitcher, Vizcaíno, who's down an A-ball now. Kind of a head scratcher, though. I mean, the Braves, after that Mark Teixeira deal, really emptied out their minor league system. The Rangers were the benefactor of that trade. Guys like Saltalamacchia, Neftali Feliz, and Elvis Andrus. So their system was a little thin, but they traded away one of the best pitchers in the National League last year in Javi Vasquez.
Yeah. Well, those are the choices that you have to make when you're trying to, get wins on the board. Do you mortgage your farm system for 1 or 2 players for a short period of time, or do you go on the other side of that? You trade away some of your better players, your more veteran players that make a lot of money, big contracts, and stock your farm system and build for the future. I think the Braves are kind of caught in between that right now.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that conversation between Frank Wren, their general manager, and Bobby Cox in his final year.
Yeah.
Saying, we're going to make this trade. We're going to build for the future here.
Future's now for Bobby Cox.
It's his last year. There's a wild swing by Diaz. 0-1. Bobby Cox tied for third with Al Lopez and Earl Weaver for the most consecutive winning seasons by a Major League manager. He strung together 15 winning seasons in a row at one point.
And did most of it with tremendous pitching staffs with the Braves. Those were teams that didn't need a lot of offense.
Right. Smoltz and Glavine and Maddox. Remember Steve Avery.
Big bullpens.
Diaz, another big swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, 2 pitches out of the strike zone to Matt Diaz, and he swung at both of them. There it is, up and away. He swung at one down and in. Just a big swing trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Atlanta with a runner at first on the 3rd walk issued by Doug Davis. And a shot to short. Escobar is there. An easy flip to Weeks. And again, the Braves strand a base runner. Doug Davis with 4 shutout. Single in this game, our AT&T trivia, who is the only pitcher in Major League history to throw a perfect game for 12 innings. He didn't win, but he threw a perfect game for 12 innings. And that is a great baseball trivia question, and one of the amazing feats in baseball history. And I'll give you a hint. It happened against Milwaukee. How about that? That's as far as we'll go with it. Tommy Hanson and Doug Davis hooked up in a dandy here tonight. Hanson has surrendered just one hit. It was a broken bat single by Jim Edmonds. A little flare that landed between the second baseman, the right fielder, and the center fielder.
Interesting that the Brewers have the only hit, but the Atlanta Braves had more base runners. The Braves have had a base runner in each inning.
3 walks and an error. Just one base runner in each inning, and Davis has stranded them all. Davis coming off his first win in his last start against Los Angeles last Wednesday. 5 1/3 against the Dodgers. Had a big smile on his face in the clubhouse after the game. That was a gorilla that jumped off his back.
Yeah.
2-2 to England. Lays off a tough pitch. 95 miles an hour. That's the best fastball of the night from Hanson.
And 95 down below the knees, so he's keeping the baseball down pretty well. Ordinarily, a guy that throws that hard, he like it up in his zone because it's tough to get to.
And England is called out. Strike 3. So Hanson goes right back to the spot, and England is punched out.
Yeah, tough up there as a hitter when you throw a guy throwing 95 at the knees. It could have been low, it could have been away, but Ed Hickox rings it up. Too close to take.
Fans, FoxSportsWisconsin.com is your home for all the exclusive news and information on the Brew Crew. Log on for daily updates, exclusive blogs, complete schedules, and more. FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Local teams, local sports, local connections, dedicated to the hometown fan. Our buddy Bob Brainerd with his daily entries at FoxSportsWisconsin.com.
And Bobby at the ballpark every day here at Miller Park. That's good to see.
Ryan Braun dropped down a bunt foul. Not a bad idea.
So when he's writing about the Brewers, he's getting it firsthand. He's here.
He's not just listening to us.
Right, but you don't want to do that.
No.
How can you get any information? Listen to us. This is why you try and drop down a bunt. And Chipper Jones way behind the bag with Ryan at the plate.
And Ryan surely gets his information and knows that Chipper Jones not moving all that well. That throw-on injury. Braun popped up in foul territory his last time up. Hit him. Hanson drills Braun, trying to get inside, and Braun takes one on the elbow. Just the second base runner for Milwaukee in this game.
Well, if you're Tommy Hanson, you got to come inside to Ryan Braun. If you're going to miss, you miss in off the plate, and that's what he did. Getting a piece of Ryan, that's going to hurt. Not able to get out of the way, so a base runner for the Brewers the hard way. That's the last thing you want to see. Ryan Braun get hit by a pitch on the elbow.
Braun went down to first, kind of put his hand up like he was okay, but once he got to first, that pain started to heat up, and athletic trainer Dan Wright is out taking a look at Braun.
Depending where it got him, sometimes it hits that funny bone, your hand just goes numb. It goes away. You hope that's the case. You know, that nerve that runs, along the elbow, sometimes if it gets hit, you really have a problem for a while, but then as soon as you start thinking about it, it starts to go away. But that's not a good spot to get hit. When you get hit on the bone, anywhere on the body, like the forearm, elbow, if it hits bone, that's a potential problem. Yeah, got him right on the back of the elbow.
Pretty flush too. Good camera work. Take a listen here. Flesh. Well, like you mentioned, Rock, Braun certainly has been hit there before. You know it's going to go away, but you're trying to do all you can to stay in the game to give it a chance to. Dan Wright is.
No, that's the one thing. And you know Ryan wants to stay in the ball game. You got to think long term here. Is it better for Ryan Braun to get in that clubhouse and get ice on it? It is not his throwing arm. But it's the important arm when he's hitting. It's that bottom hand that leads the bat through the strike zone. That's what allows you to have a quick bat. It pulls the bat through the strike zone, then the top hand takes over later on. So it's going to be tough for Ryan to stay in this ball game. Noticeably bothered, but he's talked his way into it.
So Braun stays, and here comes Prince Fielder with one away. A little bit of a delay here as Braun shakes it off. And of course, if I was pitching, I'd do the same thing, just to make sure he's not playing possum over there.
And that left arm just laying limp as he dove back to first base.
Poised beyond his years, Tommy Hanson. Just 23 years of age. And a spinner up high to Fielder. Hanson likes to work quickly. He takes the throw from the catcher right on the rubber. He's ready to go. Another check on Braun. Boy, Ryan looks real bad right now. He looks like that elbow is going to be a problem.
He really doesn't have a whole lot of strength, and you can see he landed on that left arm and just kind of collapsed down to the ground.
And another throw, and that's a close play. Braun is just back. You see Hanson has a terrific move to first.
He's quick to first base, but he's rather slow to home plate unless he gives you the slide step. And he brings that arm back, brings it around, and then on its way to home plate. It's not that his bottom half is slow, but the upper half is slow to home plate.
Ryan takes off. Fielder pops it up. Long run for McLeod. That ball's in the air forever, and it falls. How does that baseball drop? Everybody's safe.
And good base running by Ryan Braun. He was standing on second base. Saw where the baseball was, started to trickle back, and then was able to get into second before the throw beat him. Can't be a hit, can it? There's no excuse why that ball dropped. That's a base hit for Prince, but that is certainly a bad defensive play by the Braves. There's a case for that team error that everybody talks about. The shortstop is covering the bag. The second baseman's going over. I think that's the second baseman's baseball all the way. He's got to be calling that off. The shortstop was trying to decoy Ryan Braun at second base, trying to keep him at second. There he is to see Prado. Actually, that was his play because he was playing the decoy on Braun. He's not able to get there.
So here's Casey McGee now with 2 on. And you're right about Braun. That was a pretty good move at second base. He's in no man's land there. If that ball's caught, there's a chance at a double play at first. If it falls, there's a chance at a force out at second. Braun was right in the middle and able to get to second base. So McGee with 2 on and 1 out. And the Brewers threatening their best opportunity against Hanson. 0-2 on Casey.
Yeah, that's a nasty slider. I mean, Dale Swain talked about that on the scouting report tonight, and very rarely makes a mistake with it. Keeps it down away to right-handers, and not afraid to throw it to the lefties either.
McGee flew out to right field his last time up. The Brewers trying to cash in on a gift from Atlanta. The 0-2. Casey takes a fastball, just missed. Hanson fired a dart just off the plate. That is McGee's strength. To the opposite field. He can handle that pitch out there. And a breaking ball got him. Buckled his knees. Hanson with his best slider. And he strikes out Casey McGee for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, the thing that makes that pitch so effective is how late it breaks when it gets to home plate. Hitters really can't pick up that break very early. You can see it looks like a fastball until it just gets to home plate, and then it takes a left turn on Casey. And it catches plenty of the plate. Not a big break, but very late and sharp.
When you buckle a big league hitter like Casey McGee and you buckle his knees, you know you've got something.
Sometimes you just have to tip your hat to that pitcher. That was a good pitch.
So here's Jim Edmonds now. He has the only other Brewers hit. It was a broken bat single in the second inning. 2 hits for the Crew, and both of them right off the end of the bat. And Edmonds gets into one. This is way back in left. Diaz to the track. He's at the wall, and he reaches up. He makes the catch. Diaz hauls it in just before it hit the wall. Side retired. And the inning is over. The Brewers come up empty. The last second stab by Diaz. In his position in left field, still nursing that elbow with hit by Tommy Hanson pitch last inning. Got some quick treatment in the dugout between innings, and Braun is back out there. Brewers strand 2. And here's Nate McLouth to lead off this 5th inning. 8, 9, and 1 due up in the Braves lineup. McLouth, Hanson, and Infante. And a strike from Doug Davis. As Hanson goes with the power game, the 90+ mile-an-hour fastballs and the sharp sliders. Doug Davis has been just the opposite. Davis taking the butterfly approach.
Man, it's all about location for Doug Davis, keeping the ball down, mixing it up. Every now and again, straightening up a right-handed hitter on the inside part of the plate.
And McLeod draws a walk. So Doug Davis, although the Braves do not have a hit, Davis has walked 4 now. Atlanta has had a base runner in every inning thus far.
But has never not had a leadoff base runner until this inning. Gives Tommy Hanson the opportunity to drop down a bunt.
So Hanson looking to advance McLeod, who has good speed at first. Hanson gets a bunt down. It is a good one. Fielders only play as first base. The Braves execute the sacrifice and a runner in scoring position.
Now Tuesday, May 25th is Time Warner Cable Customer Appreciation Night. Find a buy one, get one free terrace ticket voucher for the game with your most recent Time Warner Cable statement. That's good while supplies last.
First time all night, Atlanta has had a runner at second base. And back to the top of the order. Scoreless game in the fifth. Pitchers duel here at Miller Park. Here's Omar Infante. One of the issues the Braves have had executing offensively, failing to advance runners. Yesterday against the Phillies, on 2 occasions, they could not advance base runners.
Hitting with runners in scoring position has been a struggle for the Braves so far this year. Getting men on base really has not. They are a patient ball club. They'll draw their walks, get their hits, but they haven't been able to come up with a big hit.
Infante batting for the third time against Davis. Nice play back there by Kataris. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Infante rolled out in the first. He walked in the third. One of 4 Doug Davis walks to go along with 4 strikeouts. First time this year Davis has walked 4 batters in a game. Popped him up. Backing up is Edmonds. McLeod will tag, and Edmonds makes a catch as McLeod stops. A big out to get. Out number 2 for Doug Davis. Still a runner at second base, and it'll be Martin Prado.
A pretty good pitch to hit for Infante. Just got under it. And an easy out to Edmonds.
Prado has struck out twice. 2 of the 4 Doug Davis strikeouts in this game. Prado had 2 hits yesterday. 2 hits against Cole Hamels. Raised his batting average to .312 to start the day. Getting a chance to play every day in Atlanta this year with Kelly Johnson no longer an Atlanta Brave. Johnson to the Diamondbacks. And Prado into left field, a base hit. McLeod around third. And the throw from Braun is late. McLeod scores. Davis backs up, thankfully. That's an RBI single for Martin Prado, and the Atlanta Braves lead it 1-0 on the first hit of the ball game against Doug Davis.
Yeah, pitch up in the strike zone. Looked like a cut fastball that got too much of the plate, and Prado able to line it into left field just out of the reach of Escobar. And we talked about the speed of Nate McLeod. He's always been a pretty good base runner, able to score easily. Nice job by Doug Davis to back it up behind home plate. And Doug Davis backing that up. Had he not been there, Braves would have had another man in scoring position for Chipper Jones.
Instead, Prado at first. Jones up there with 2 outs. Atlanta makes their lone hit count, an RBI single, a 2-out RBI single from Martin Prado. Jones is 0 for 1. He walked in the first against Davis. And Doug falls behind him 2-0.
Doug Davis pitch count getting up there a little bit, 84 pitches. Not yet through the 5th inning. And although he's been able to limit the base hits and the runs, pitch total starting to creep up on him.
Two balls and a strike on Jones. And off the end of the bat, shallow center. Jim Edmonds will run it down. The inning is over. The Braves get a run. Martin Prado with a 2-out RBI single. 1-0 Braves. Presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By AirTran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by GMC. We are professional grade. Roof is closed tonight on a Monday in Milwaukee. And the Brewers are down to the Braves 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Tommy Hanson, as advertised here tonight. He's been terrific. He has shut out the Brewers through 4 innings. The only 2 hits were not struck well. Fielder and Edmonds with the 2 singles in this game. The Braves have just 1 hit, but they made it count. Martin Prado with a 2-out RBI single just a moment ago, giving Hanson the lead. Ball and a strike on Alcides Escobar. Escobar rolled out to end the inning his last time up. Just now batting for the 2nd time against Hanson, and we play in the 5th.
That's some kind of slider. Say, that's a good one. That's one of the best we've seen this year.
Carlos Marmol-like.
Yeah.
A late snap break on it. 2-2. Escobar hangs tough.
Well, let's check out tonight's time of the game winners. Jungle Gyms in Athelstan, Wisconsin. That's just north of Crivets. Remember Crivets, grouse hunting territory?
Oh, for sure.
If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well, notice you got a few Athelstains on your tie today after a messy dinner.
After the chicken parm in the press room tonight, it was good. That's why you have a tie, isn't it?
That's right. That's what they're for.
So you don't mess up your shirt.
It's a fancy napkin. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Escobar. And he lays off that slider. That's a success against Tommy Hanson. Escobar able to lay off a pitch that he has had trouble with. See what Hanson does with him. 3-2. Lead man up in the 5th. And he spun one right on the outside corner. Escobar taking a called strike 3, the 5th strikeout for Hanson.
Almost identical to the pitch that Casey McGee took. Tough pitch to take.
Well, our AT&T trivia question, we're wanting to know the only pitcher in Major League history to throw a perfect game through 12 innings. Quote unquote perfect game. Harvey Haddix did it in 1959. And he did it against the Milwaukee Braves. And of course, it's a famous game by now. It's a game that the Braves would win. Harvey Haddix, 36 consecutive batters retired. That remains a record. Harvey Haddix, Lou Burdett, one of the all-time great games. How about all the hits for the Pirates against Burdett, but yet no earned runs? 12 hits allowed, no earned runs. And the Braves won that game. It was a sacrifice by Eddie Matthews. Hank Aaron drew an intentional walk. And then Joe Adcock hit a home run that turned into a double because he passed Hank Aaron on the bases. It was a 1-0 Milwaukee Braves win over the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Did you see Lou Burdett's strikeouts and walks? 13 innings, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Had some pretty good defense behind him.
Definitely. 12 hits. Gutierrez draws a walk. Well, there's a start. The Brewers have a base runner with one away. Hey, I want to remind you, if you're a parent of a 6th through 8th grade student, they can win a school visit from a Milwaukee Brewers player during the Brewers Score for Excellence Day, Friday, May 28th. Just visit Brewers.com. You can download the entry form and your kids could score for excellence with the Brewers. Great program. Looking forward to that at the end of the month. Here's Doug Davis up there to buck the runner over, and he takes a ball from Hanson. By the way, for the record, it's Haddix doesn't get credit for a perfect game.
Oh, right, yeah.
Unlike Dallas Braden yesterday. But 36 consecutive batters retired is a record. Davis gets a bunt down. McCann plays it. The throw to second for 1, and the return to first in time. The bat was in the way as well. McCann did a nice job to get it started, and the inning is over. It goes 1-6-3. Nice play by the Braves catcher. It has been a tight one tonight at Miller Park. 1-0. The Braves lead the Brewers. And we're on our way to the 6th inning. just one hit for Atlanta. A Martin Prado RBI single with 2 outs. He's not as lonely as you think he is up there. Those are those new Packers throwback jerseys there, Rock. You like that? It's nice.
Is that what that was?
The big circle. And
big 75 on it?
The number in the middle of the circle. I like that. Sure, I'll be getting one now. Troy Gloss leads off. See the numbers for the starters in this game. Hanson's just given up 2 hits, both singles, 5 strikeouts. There was a leadoff walk in the 5th inning that came around to score against Doug Davis. One of his 4 walks. And a big cut by Gloss. Boy, he had a mighty hack. And it's 1-2.
Doug Davis is one of those guys that you go up there and you say, you know what, I'm going to get a good pitch to hit this time and knock one out of here. But you know, it takes a little off. He adds a little bit. He'll cut it. He'll sink it. He's had pretty good command tonight. One of those guys one of those guys that hitters will tell you it's a comfortable offer. You feel like you're going to get him next time. Tommy Hanson, on the other hand,
uncomfortable,
very uncomfortable.
Puts the bees in the hands.
It can make you look bad.
Hanson has done it with power. Davis has done it with finesse.
It doesn't matter how it's done as long as it's done, right?
2 ways to go about it. That's why they call it pitching and not throwing. Curveball missed. Gloss has struck out twice. Davis has 4 strikeouts. They've come to 2 batters, Martin Prado and Troy Gloss. Ready for the 2-2 from Doug Davis. And that one's well hit to center field. Edmonds has a long way to go. And Edmonds will watch this one fly out of here. A mammoth home run from Troy Gloss. Just his 3rd of the year. And the Braves have a 2-0 lead. That ball was really hit by Gloss.
Well, he got under it, but he's big and strong, and he's got that leverage. And Doug Davis trying to shoot the outside corner. Look where it ends up, right down the middle. And even Troy Gloss, who has been struggling, not able to drive in a lot of runs, able to knock that one out of here to center field. Way back in center.
And now Gloss has more home runs this year than he did all of last year. Didn't play much last year, just 14 games. Got Goodwill on that one. Boy, that's way up there. And now Davis drills McCann. So the Braves with a base runner after the home run. Still nobody out.
They're trying to come inside, and Doug Davis misses badly. Got Brian McCann on the back of the arm.
Davis pitching here in the 6th. The bullpen beginning to stir for Milwaukee. Melky Cabrera has reached base twice without the benefit of a hit. He reached on an error in the 2nd, and then Davis walked him in the 4th. On the corner for a strike. By the way, that home run off Doug Davis, just the 4th he's allowed this year, and it's the 1st since his 2nd start of the season back on April 12th. So his 1st in nearly a month.
Yeah, throughout his career, he really hasn't had a problem giving up a lot of home runs. He's been one of those guys that when he gives up runs, it's walks and base hits. Not so much long ball. The most he's given up in his career, 0-5 with the Brewers. Gave up 26 homers.
Well, he certainly hasn't pitched in pitcher-friendly ballparks in his major league career, whether it be the Texas Rangers or the Milwaukee Brewers,
Arizona,
or Chase Field in Arizona, all hitters' parks. Curveball fouled away. Cabrera just hangs in there. The Brewers will have the top of the order coming up in the 6th inning. So you know Ken Maka and Rick Peterson would like to get Davis through this inning and give him a chance to win. But another base runner, and we'll start to see some activity as that ball is lined down the right field line. That is a fair ball to the wall. England plays it off the wall. McCann does not run well, but he's going to try to score. Got a chance here. Weeks the throw to the plate, and he's out at home. Ricky Weeks guns down McCann.
Hey, why would you send it with nobody out? That makes no sense. I mean, you wonder why the Atlanta Braves have been struggling to score runs. There's one reason. Never, ever make the first out at home plate. It's all right to make the third out, but never the first. And what a throw by Ricky Weeks. A little inexperienced by Joe Inglet. What he does do a good job of is reaching Ricky on the fly. And look at this throw. Flat-footed, right on the money, and Brian McCann, an easy out at home plate. A good relay by the Brewers cuts down a run.
9-4-2 it goes. And McCann is gunned down. It's the second consecutive game that the Braves have had a runner thrown out at the plate.
And that wasn't even close.
Now Davis will intentionally walk Matt Diaz here. Cabrera ends up at third base. Give him a double, advancing on the throw, I believe. They scored a triple or a double? I believe it was a double. So Diaz has walked intentionally, sets up a double play opportunity for Davis.
Now Brian Snitker, the third base coach, electing to send the Braves catcher, and look at the throw by Ricky Weeks. My goodness. A tremendous throw, flat-footed, right on the money, something on it, and Brian McCann easily out at home plate. Not a good decision by the Braves to send him.
Well, we'll see if the Brewers can cash in here and get out of this inning with no further damage. Here's McLouth with one out. Got the pitcher coming up next. So this truly is the key batter in this inning for Doug Davis.
Not too many second basemen in baseball that can make that throw.
That's a good point.
There's a lot of shortstops that can make that throw, but not too many from second base. A tremendous throw by Ricky.
Runner takes off. The squeeze is on. McLouth bunts it foul. So Bobby Cox putting a little action on here. A squeeze bunt attempt, and McLouth could not get it between the lines.
What you have to do is get it down in fair territory. You don't have to make it very perfect, and Nate McLouth not able to do it. Gives you a sense how tough it's been for the Braves to score runs. You have a guy like Nate McLouth dropping down a squeeze bunt. Of course, it is lefty versus lefty, and McLouth not nearly as good against lefties as right-handers.
Here's the 1-1. McLouth bounces one to second. Weeks makes. Oh, he came out of his glove, and he's going to get nobody. A run scores. Ricky trying to be too quick. Didn't secure the baseball. And Atlanta has a 3-0 lead. Everybody safe.
And 2 errors for Ricky Weeks here tonight. Very uncharacteristic. He's been playing so well defensively. He just tried a little bit to be too quick, getting that throw off to Escobar. They weren't going to be able to turn 2 anyway. You just got to make sure 1 there.
A costly error. Still just 1 out. And here comes the pitcher, Tommy Hanson.
Be an E4, but credit Nate McLouth with an RBI.
Inning started with a Troy Gloss home run. Cabrera doubled. And a runner thrown out at the plate. Hanson trying to advance the 2 runners. Boy, that was the way out for Doug Davis. as Manny Parra gets loose.
Pitch count over 100, 107 right now.
Hanson gets down a good bunt. Guitar's going to third, and he's out at third base. A risky move by George Guitaris, and they just got Matt Diaz at third base.
I'll say that was a risky move because I didn't think they were going to be able to get him. Yeah, Matt Diaz, not the speediest of base runners, but he got a pretty good jump off of second. And a good throw by Guitaris to get him. Did he? Boy, pretty close. Could have gone either way. You know, maybe it was a case of Guitaris thinking that, you know, the way that ball was rolling down the third baseline, it would have been tough to get the pitcher. But anytime you have to go super slow motion to go safer out, you really can't fault the umpire. Plus, we'll take the out.
I mean, it's bang, bang. That's how close it is. Cederstrom had the best look at it. And a big out to get. That is a dangerous play by Guitaris. If Diaz is safe there, it's bases loaded. And the top of the order coming up with just one out. Instead, now 2 away. Omar Infante is 0 for 2 with a walk against Davis. Both of the outs in this inning coming on the base paths. Davis has yet to retire a hitter in this inning. 2 hits, a walk, an error, a hit batter, and a fielder's choice.
No, because of the error, to extend the inning, you know, Doug Davis has to deal with the leadoff hitter, as opposed to 2 outs and a pitcher coming up. You know, in close games, you just can't, you know, make errors. I mean, 2 errors, you know, one of them is costly. First one didn't cost the Brewers much.
Three balls, no strikes on Infante, and he takes a strike from Davis. Well, this is the man you want here. Infante filling in for Yunel Escobar, Atlanta starting shortstop. He's out with a hamstring injury. A good hitter is next in Martin Prado, and one of the Braves' best hitters thus far. And he walked him. Davis loads the bases. Well, a reminder, the second annual Brewers Boot Camp is scheduled for July 18th. It's been an entire day at Miller Park, receiving instruction during the morning and fielding and hitting, followed by elimination games in the afternoon. Entrants are limited to a total of 52 big leaguers to comprise 4 teams. You can sign up by contacting Brewers Enterprises, 414-902-4424, or brewers.com/bootcamp. Pitching change. Doug Davis is out. The bases are loaded. Here comes Manny Parra. We'll take a timeout. much has gone right for the Brewers, but the 2 outs in this inning have come on the bases. One at home plate, one at third. And now Manny Parra will take over for Doug Davis, trying to get out of a bases-loaded mess with 2 outs.
Yeah, last pitched on Saturday against the Diamondbacks down in Arizona. Pitched 2 scoreless innings, a couple of strikeouts. Manny had a pretty good run going, this year out of the bullpen. 8 scoreless appearances in his first 10 2/3 innings. His appearance in Los Angeles, he gave up a 3-run home run to James Loney after 2 outs and nobody on. So Manny Parra, one of 2 now left-handers for Ken Maka. Mitch Stetter in the fold now.
Here's Martin Prado. Drove in the first run with a 2-out RBI single. And a big swing and a miss. Well, that is some kind of pitch from Parra. He's used that splitter very effectively this year.
And the thing that he's doing with it this year is starting hitters off and using it down in the count. That's something he didn't do last year.
Correction, that looked like a breaking ball from Parra. And a fastball launched. Prado sends one deep to left and a grand slam home run for the Atlanta Braves. And just like that, Atlanta puts some distance. 7-0 Braves. Second home run of the year for Prado, and he's driven in 5 in this game.
What happened to this game? My goodness. Fastball, tried to get it in. He got it in. It looked like he got it in, but Prado able to open up the hips, keep the barrel of the bat on the baseball and way back. And it's a 7-0 game, a 6 spot for the Atlanta Braves. Have scored the 3rd fewest runs in all of the National League. 2 home runs in the inning.
Martin Prado turning a Manny Parra fastball around. Doug Davis, after all of that work, 5 innings, just 1 run, 1 hit, is going to surrender 6 runs in this game, 6 earnings. In 5 2/3. And the Brewers' struggles at home continue. A team that is just 4-8 this year in their home ballpark. Jones, a bouncer. Parra, no chance. Infield hit.
Now Chipper Jones will take anything he can get at this point. He's had such a rough start to his season that a swinging bunt down the third baseline. He'll take it. That's a hit. They jammed him. Manny able to get in on his hands. Really not running all that well. He's had a tough time staying healthy last few years.
There's a groin injury that had Jones out of the lineup yesterday. There's Troy Gloss. A monumental punch by Martin Prado. Grand slam home run. The first career grand slam for Martin Prado.
And after Prado swung over the top of that split-fingered fastball by Manny, he came right back with a 4-seamer and he knocked it out of here.
First grand slam for Atlanta this season as well. And Chipper Jones is done. So after the foul ball, Chipper Jones has had enough. Brooks Conrad will come in to run for Jones. Be interesting to see if Jones is in the lineup tomorrow.
Noticeably not running all that well. Chipper Jones just not able to stride it out. He used to have pretty good speed when he was younger and feeling good, but with a 7-0 lead, Bobby Cox decides to let him sit the rest of the game out.
Not a bad idea. Six runs in for the Braves as you see Conrad, the pinch runner. Troy Gloss started this inning with a home run to center. The 10th batter in the inning. And a strike from Manning. You're wondering where the offense is going to come from for the Braves. How about Martin Prado with 5 runs batted in? Coming into this game, he had driven in 7 all year. Has 5 tonight. Innings should have never have gotten to Prado, however. In Doug Davis's defense, an error by Weeks. Runner takes off, and the pitch is inside for ball 4.
Yeah, even teams that have had a tough time scoring runs, when you give them extra outs, they're going to take advantage of it. The extra out, the error by Ricky to extend the inning, gave Prado the chance to knock it out of the ballpark.
Quick trip to the mound for Rick Peterson.
Yeah, Ricky able to get an out on that ground ball by Nate McLeod. That would have been Hanson. That could have been the final out in the inning. And it would have stayed a 3-0 game.
A lot of damage done for Atlanta in this 6th inning. 2 home runs, a double. 2 on for Parra here. That is Brian McCann. Breaking ball strike. It ties the most runs the Braves have scored in an inning this year, 6. It's the 3rd time they've done it. And Doug Davis left alone with his thoughts, wondering how did this happen. Had a good game going. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, all falling apart here in the 6th.
It could have been a lot worse had the Braves not made that out at home plate with nobody out.
Yeah, had an out at the plate, an out at third base. Ball and 2 strikes on McCann. Two and 2. That look tells it all. Got him. Parra strikes out Brian McCann. The inning is over, but the damage done. Martin Prado, his first career grand slam, and it opens up a 7-0 Braves lead. It was a tight one here through the first 5 innings. Tommy Hanson of the Braves, 2-2 this year and a 2.83 earned run average. He is pitching well. Troy Glaus started the 6th inning with a home run, his 3rd of the year. And then it only got worse from there. Martin Prado finished the scoring with a grand slam in the 6th inning. The Braves bring 11 batters to the plate. They score 6 runs on 4 hits. And a 7-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And just when you need something to smile about, the sausages remind you that you can't beat fun at the old ballpark, even when your club's down 7-0.
Yeah. It's still good to be home. Yeah, the Brewers have a ways to go, but nothing like the Racing Clement sausages to put a smile on your face. What do we got, the brat tonight?
I think the brat finished up. We didn't quite get a photo finish, and we'll give it to him. Ricky Weeks to lead off here in the 6th. Tommy Hanson has surrendered just 2 hits and has 5 strikeouts thus far. Breaking ball missed. Brooks Conrad in the game for Chipper Jones. He ran for him last inning. Conrad yesterday started at third base for the Braves. Might be getting some more playing time here as Jones had to exit. Well-placed fastball from Hanson, 2-2. Let's see what's going around the league here. Washington, they've been a good story this year, huh? The Nationals lead the Mets 3-1. They're in the 8th inning. The Nationals and the Mets, identical records, 17 wins, 14 losses to begin the day. Ryan Zimmerman is back. He homered tonight. Adam Kennedy homered as well. You think about Washington, Steven Strasburg now in AAA.
Right.
He pitched against the Braves AAA club last week. Pitched well.
John Ladden, Levon Hernandez. I mean, those guys have been throwing the baseball pretty well. Nationals about the middle of the pack in team earned run average. I mean, the last few years they've been at the bottom of the heap just about every year. A 445 team earned run average.
Hernandez has been a great story for Washington. But you put Steven Strasburg in that rotation, and then if Chen-Ming Wong can come back,
right,
you're talking about a very good pitching staff and a ring up by Ed Hickox. Ricky Weeks doesn't agree and barks at him on his way out. Strikeout number 6 for Hanson.
And very rarely do you see Ricky argue any call. It looked like it was down according to Fox Tracks, but on the side angle, it looks like it had the knees.
So 1 away, and here's Inglet. Marlins lead the Cubs 4-2. That game was tied until the 7th. The Marlins scored 3 runs in the 7th inning and lead it at Wrigley. Milwaukee opened the day in 3rd place in the division as Inglet drives one to right. Cabrera going back, can't get it. To the wall, Inglet, extra bases. A 1-out double for Joe Inglet.
Man, Joe always seems to get his hits. Whether he's coming off the bench, he's done a nice job as a pinch hitter. Yeah, Joe's never been a pinch hitter in his career. Very rarely did it. Getting a start here tonight and able to get a fastball over the head of Melky Cabrera, who's playing shallow. Not giving Inglet much credit for hitting the ball over his head.
Inglet's first 2 pinch hits of the year were triples.
Ken Mock is always trying to figure out ways to get Joe in the lineup. He'll give you a good at bat. He really will.
1 for 3 here tonight, Inglet. Here's Ryan Braun. See how his elbow responds after being hit by a pitch. Back in the 4th inning, Hanson trying to get one inside, drills Braun right on the elbow. And after a long delay, Braun stayed in the game. Plenty of meat with that pitch. Now, Braun stayed, and now his first trip back to the plate since.
Well, he took that left hand off the bat after he swung and missed. That's not a good sign.
You can see that elbow is heavily wrapped at this point. That sleeve and a little cold spray to keep the swelling down. That's the concern for the athletic trainers.
Yep, that compression wrap, that'll keep that area nice and tight to keep that swelling and spread it out a little bit.
England out at second, 1 away. Braun is 0 for 1.
How about the Braves? 7 runs on 5 hits. That's it. They've had 5 walks, a hit batter, a couple of errors. Only 5 hits and 7 runs. Of course, 2 of the 5 hits homers.
Well, Hanson reaching back. Big fastball missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, you never know. Brewers trying to get into that bullpen at least. Hanson's pitch count is at 72. He has been very efficient here tonight. 2-2 to Braun. England a big lead out at second base. Braun was late and fouls it back. Another big fastball. Phillies are in Colorado tonight. The Rockies lead 2-1. Philadelphia looks strong. Boy, they are right back to one of the elite teams.
A little bit behind that fastball, and anytime you have a problem with that front elbow, that's the arm that leads that bat through the strike zone. The top hand doesn't take over until just before contact. You got a problem, you lose a little strength in that front arm, you're going to get jammed a lot.
I'd be surprised if Braun's in the lineup tomorrow. We'll see. He started every game, he and Fielder this year. And down goes Braun. A wicked breaking ball from Tommy Hanson.
You know, down 7-0 might not be a bad idea to get ice on that thing right now.
Tommy Hanson tonight, Rob, coming as advertised. This is a guy that the Atlanta Braves feel like is going to be a perennial Cy Young Award candidate.
Well, he just has nasty stuff. I mean, he throws his fastball mid-90s, got the curveball, the slider that he very rarely makes a mistake with. He's got 7 strikeouts. He's only walked 1. He's hit a batter, but you know, his issue has been run support. I mean, his 2 losses, the Braves have not scored a run. He's been shut out twice. Been very good.
Well, as much hoopla that surrounded Ryan Braun when he arrived in Milwaukee, it was double that for Tommy Hanson in Atlanta. He was in AAA ball in Gwinnett, which is right near Atlanta, about a half an hour from Turner Field. And he made his major league debut against the Brewers last June. Remember the swirl of controversy at that time as well. They made the trade for McLeod, but that was during the Tom Glavine situation. And it was Hanson who actually took Glavine's spot on the roster last year, just to add to the pressure for the 22-year-old at the time. He's now 23.
As if coming to the big leagues isn't pressure enough, right? Filling in for or replacing a Braves legend. Looks like Ryan's going to stick around. He's going to be all right. Must not be as bad as we had initially thought. Because you had to figure if it's a 7-0 ball game at this point, I mean, you got to think long term with Ryan Braun. I mean, hey, you take him out, you get some ice on it. Even if he has to miss another game, I mean, you got to be thinking about him not missing 4 or 5 games.
1-2 to Prince. Fielder pulls one foul.
But obviously that's a concern down in that dugout.
Right.
If he's in there, it must not be so bad.
Nope, and that would be the first move. Conservative would be the way to go with Ryan Braun. So obviously he's good to go. And you said that when he got hit, that's the worst it's going to feel. Takes a little time to settle down. It's really an area that is misnamed, right? The funny bone. Nothing funny about it. Two-strike pitch. Fielder fouls one right back to the net. Good thing they put a net up there, Rock. That was headed right for us.
Would you have caught it?
My man Mikey over here is a little flinchy.
Say he would have had it barehanded.
Yeah. It's really tough to do from underneath the table.
That would have been one of those ones you can actually hear the laces spinning.
The hiss. Ooh, just missed.
I, on the other hand, I would not at all have any effort in catching a baseball barehanded. Easy for me to say.
All right, 2-2 to Fielder. See if he can give him something to cheer about here. Down he goes. Hanson, the better of the two in that matchup. Boy, Tommy Hanson striking out the side. He has 8 punch-outs. Twirling a gem for the Braves tonight. And by Toyota. Thank you for standing by us. For more information, visit buyatoyota.com. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap tomorrow. The Brewers and the Braves on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Airtime is 6:30 for Brewers Live. Craig Deshawn and Jerry Augustine. And then Wednesday's a matinee. Friday the Phillies are here. 7-0 Atlanta, and Ryan Braun taken out of the game. Jody Garrett takes over in left. So Braun is out. He was hit by the pitch, and we'll have to check on his status tonight. Stay tuned to Brewers Live for an update on Ryan Braun. Manny Parra back on the mound. Cabrera slices one to right. Long run for England. He runs it down. He's starting to look more and more like a right fielder every day.
Yeah, got a good jump on that baseball. Playing deep like you would expect he would, not being familiar with the outfield. So he played deep, and everybody's always more comfortable coming in on a baseball from the outfield than going back. You can see Joe going toward an angle in that corner, hauling it in.
One gone, and here is Diaz. It was a couple of years ago, Diaz badly injured his knee here at Miller Park. He slid into the wall down the left field line and tore a ligament. Knocked him out for the rest of the season. It was a terrible injury here. But he's come back from it. A long rehab for Diaz. Little bouncer out to Escobar. 2 outs. Hey, Rod, be sure to join us tomorrow night for a special broadcast. You got to be here. So we'll have the umpires with us. We'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at their lives, their responsibilities, and we'll hear from this very crew working the series on every aspect of umpiring, from on the field and off. It's a special behind baseball broadcast coming your way tomorrow night, starting at 6:30, and Bruce Fremming is going to join us in the booth.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be an opportunity to, get to know what these umpires go through, hear their voice, kind of bring the human element to the umpires, because they're kind of, you see them out there, but you never hear from them. And they go through just about, the same routine, or I should say the same, process getting to the major leagues as the players do. A lot of time in the minor leagues, riding buses. Get to know them a little bit tomorrow.
Looking forward to that tomorrow night. Be a chance to see what the arbiters do and how they go about their craft. It is a long road to the major leagues for sure. I spent a number of years in the minor leagues, and down in the minor leagues, it's easier to get to know the umpires. Not sure why. I think one of the reasons is because the umpires show up about an hour before the game in the big leagues, and you have the big league stadium. It's a lot harder to get down there to say hello, but in the minor leagues, more of an opportunity. Guys like Dan Isonia and Mike DeMuro, Doug Eddings, all those guys were in the minor leagues when I was coming up. Inning is over as Jody Garrett makes a catch. Brewers coming to bat, stretch time in Milwaukee.
A 4-9 on this homestand unless they can rally here. 7th inning, they were down 7-0 in this game. Jerry and Craig on board with you, getting ready for our post-game report coming up after the ball game. Runners in scoring position, Jerry, just 2 so far in this game against Hanson for the Brewers. Just 1 in 5 on the last homestand, too. They got to get something going, don't they?
Well, there's no question. I think if you look at this ball club at home all season long, the one problem they've had is getting runners on base. If you can't get runners on base, you can't score.
The other thing is, and we talked about this the past couple of days coming back home too, Jerry, is the opponents that the Brewers have faced here at home, as Casey McGee leads off with the base hit in this game to get things going at least in this inning. But the opponents have been pretty good, obviously starting with Colorado and St. Louis as well, and then the pitcher they're facing tonight in Hanson.
Well, there's no doubt they've seen some real quality pitching, and tonight with Tommy Hanson, he's been fantastic.
Okay, the on-field instructional coming up after the ball game. Doug Davis's deliberate delivery. The lefty, Jerry Augustine, will help break that down with Bill Schroeder coming up after the game, guys.
I like that. We're gonna see Jerry Augustine's balance point. We're gonna see just how balanced he is these days.
I don't know if many guys, I mean, in talking about Jerry Augustine, know more about the mechanics and explaining how to pitch than Jerry Augustine. He's outstanding. He's a great teacher. And he explains things very well. I guess talk about every aspect of the delivery, the different points of emphasis, balance points and things like that, release points. But Doug Davis is a little bit unique in that he puts his leg up, brings it down, and slides it before it hits the ground. We'll talk about that a little bit.
And Jerry can do all of that with a beer and a brat in his hand. It's just perfect.
That's what makes him so wonderful.
An institution here in Milwaukee. Great teacher of the game. Ball and a strike on Jim Edmonds, a leadoff single by McGee.
I guess wonderful would not be a word that I would use to describe Jerry. But he's a great teacher, great guy. I don't know if wonderful would be a word that could to categorize.
I disagree. I think it fits perfectly.
That's not a word that I use too often. I don't know why it came out that way.
You're expanding a little bit. The crossword puzzle yesterday really helped you out.
Getting really sensitive.
Edmonds flies out. First out of the inning.
When I think of wonderful, I think of my mother. Or not Jerry Augustine.
Yeah. Or there was a baseball player named Wonderful Mons. Remember him? Colorado Rockies?
No.
Oh, come on. Let me tell you about Wonderful Mons before. We need to answer this. Text the booth. Kelly in New Berlin wants to know, why is Jerry Augustine? No. Why are Blue Pits sometimes called Texas Leaguers?
I don't know. Do you know?
Because it happens in the Texas League.
I don't know. I don't have any idea.
The Texas League is a minor league.
Should I look it up?
Now it's AA, and it's the equivalent of a minor league hit.
Be careful now.
You see what I'm saying?
Be careful.
No, it's a minor league hit. A line drive for a hit is a major league hit, as Escobar sends McLeod back a few steps, out number 2. Does that make sense?
No.
So, all right, you hit if you have a line drive and it falls between the center fielder and the left fielder.
That's a major league hit, right?
It's a hit, right? But a little flare is a minor league hit, a Texas leaguer. I spent way too many years in the Texas League. All those bus rides. Kataris pops it foul. Now the other common phrase, the can of corn.
I know that one.
So the can of corn
up on the top shelf,
yeah.
you get a stick, it falls out, and you just kind of grab it. Comes right down to you.
The non-perishable items, the
easy
top
to catch.
Shelf of the grocery stores.
Yeah, easy to catch.
There
no problem.
I have no idea we were going into the baseball lexicon here tonight.
Texas Leaguer.
Texas Leaguer. I like Hawk Harrelson calls them duck snorts, which is a modified version of what you might hear in the dugout. But that works as well. And if you don't know, a Texas Leaguer is a little flare over the infield in front of the outfielders. Jim Edmonds had a Texas Leaguer back in the second inning. Three balls and a strike. Any more Texas League information that you've drummed up?
There's the Texas League we're talking about.
They're still listening in the truck. Nice
well
work.
done. Well done.
Nice work. Chris Withers, Michael Odino. strike from Hanson.
I basically went on the first level of that research and really didn't get anywhere, and then just gave up.
Just gave out. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You don't want to empty out the chamber here in the first game of the series. McGee takes off. Gutierrez hits one high in the air. Right field. Will it stay playable? Cabrera gives it a look, and he makes the catch for the out. Inning is over. Thank goodness.
The chilly breeze, a cool game, 45 degrees with a cool breeze from the north-northeast.
Tonight on a cool night in Milwaukee. But the Braves have been hot at the plate. A 6-run 6th inning. And it is 7-0. Manny Parra still out there. Doug Davis started, went 5 2/3, gave up 6 runs, 3 earned, walked 6, and hit a batter. And Tommy Hanson will hit here in this 8th inning. I was sent another explanation on the Texas Leaguer, another theory about the Texas Leaguer. This is a good one. I've never heard this one. Ollie Pickering hit 7 bloop hits in a row in his baseball debut in the Texas League. And thus, Texas Leaguer was born. I don't think there's a for sure answer.
Right.
But why not bring up Ollie Pickering when you get a chance, right? There's Ollie joining us here at the ballpark tonight. It's good to have him. So 1 out, Manny Parra back to the top of the order. By the way, Manny Parra went to the same junior college as Dallas Braden, who threw the perfect game.
There you go.
So, just to connect the dots there. Manny Parra has a perfect game. Do it in AAA. And he has 2 outs here in the 8th inning. These are just random questions we're getting on the broadcast tonight, Rock.
Okay.
So if there's anything you'd like to know, this is your time.
I'm good.
I did see where David Risky begins a rehab assignment tonight. So he's back and pitching, hoping to contribute this year at the big league level. It'll be a long way back as Risky coming back from injury. He's headed to Brevard County
You know, talking to Doug Melvin on the last road trip, he said that Chris Capuano's throwing the baseball pretty well.
Yep, Capuano coming back from a second Tommy John surgery.
Hey, root for Chris Capuano. Good guy, works hard. Tough enough to come back after one Tommy John surgery, let alone two.
Risky coming back from Tommy John surgery as well. Bouncing ball to third. Chopper to McGee. Inning over. 1-2-3 inning for Manny Parra. In the books, 8 strikeouts thus far. The Brewers have just 4 hits. And a 6-run 6th inning for Atlanta. Gloss homered in that inning. Martin Prado, his first career grand slam. The first grand slam of the year for the Braves. And he capped off a 6-run inning to make it 7-0. Prado has 5 runs batted in tonight on 2 hits. And Hanson has been very good. Back out there for the 8th inning. The Braves bullpen was beat up a little bit in Philadelphia. So just when Bobby Cox needed a starter to go deep in a game, he gets that kind of outing tonight from Hanson.
He still hasn't thrown 100 pitches, and we're sitting here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So he's been very economical with his pitches tonight.
So if you're wondering why Hanson is in there with a 7-0 lead, he's earned it. He's got a chance to maybe finish this game. Craig Counsell pinch hitting for the Brewers. Three and 1 to Counsell. Gloss flips it over to Hanson for the out. 1 gone here in the 8th inning. Tommy Hanson is in our Jimmy John's delivery of the game.
Really doing a nice job. He's got 100 pitches on the books right now. He's been in control all night long. The Brewers have only been able to scatter 4 base hits, or I think that 5 base hits off of Tommy Hanson. He's got the 8 strikeouts. He's only walked 1. Outstanding job by the Atlanta Braves starter here tonight.
One gone in the 8th. Top of the order, Ricky Weeks, who is 0 for 3. Hanson has struck him out twice. I'm kind of looking forward to the umpire breakdown tomorrow. It's very interesting. If you're a baseball fan, it's interesting to see the different nuances for the umpires. You know, obviously the home plate umpire is in the spotlight. He's like the starting pitcher of the crew.
Right.
And then the first base umpire is kind of in the next seat. Umpire rotation goes from home to third to second to first. Not that you want to say the third base umpire is a night off, but that's the night after you have the plate.
Not as much going on at third base as there is at second and first. So as you go around the bases, you get a little bit more involved every night. And then ultimately, every umpire looks forward to their night calling balls and strikes. That's their night to be the kingpin, the guy in charge. Fielding Colbreth will be that guy tomorrow night.
Ed Hickok's the home plate umpire tonight.
We're going to make great use of our umpire's media guide tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we sat him down for some interviews, and you'll get to hear their stories. That's tomorrow night for Game 2 of the series. And Bruce Fremming will join us tomorrow. He's going to sit in the booth with us all 9 innings.
Yeah, keeping us honest. You know, Bruce was sitting in here while the Braves were having that big inning and that play at third base where it looked as though the runner at third was safe. Did you notice you and I never ever said that the umpire missed that call? That's because Bruce was sitting in here. I didn't dare say anything with Bruce here.
That's not true. It was a bang-bang play, right? Bruce watches all the time. He comes in here. Hey, Schroeds.
Quit calling pitches.
From 200 feet away. Weeks hits one high in the air to right, backing up Cabrera. Out number 2. So here comes Joe England. He has a double tonight when he's at the plate. Brewers don't have much going offensively, just 4 hits. And the only extra base hit has come from England. I'm anxious to talk to Bruce about postseason umpiring because in the postseason they add 2 umpires. They put an umpire down each line, and it's out of the rhythm of what they do all season. I've always found it fascinating. And how do things change when you get to the postseason as far as duties go?
Yeah, Bruce Fremming umpired 111 postseason games.
So he should know.
Everybody would know it would be Bruce.
Milwaukee native Bruce Fremming. His final game was here in Milwaukee in 07.
One of only 2 umpires to umpire over 5,000 Major League games. 3 All-Star games, 9 Division Series, 10 League Championship Series, and 5 World Series.
We're going to ask him about every call he ever missed tomorrow. We've got them all on tape. No, we wouldn't do that to him.
No. Good friend of show.
Pop up to center. McLeod coming in. And Tommy Hanson in the rocking chair here tonight. 8th shutout for the 23-year-old Hanson.
at the same time, the better working relationship you have, the better the whole game will flow. So, you know, I just try to do my job. I do it the best of my ability. I think the best way to make the catcher happy is to see that you're busting your hiney to make sure that every pitch that his guy throws is called correctly. And if that's the case, I expect that he will stay off base.
That's Fielding Colbreth from South Carolina. 13 years as a big league umpire. That's just a taste of what you'll see tomorrow. He'll be behind the plate tomorrow, talking about that relationship between umpire and catcher.
Yep, catcher just wants an honest effort, and he'll be consistent throughout the ball game. You know, I know when I was catching and I felt an umpire missed a call, you know, instead of getting on the umpire and start barking at him, well, sometimes you say, hey, am I moving around too much? And, you know, you seeing that pitch okay? You know, after you say that 2 or 3 times, I think they get the point. That's your way of saying you missed one. Should I get lower for you?
And Fielding Colbreth would say, you know, while the catcher thinks he's managing you, you're really managing the catcher.
Absolutely, yeah.
He is in charge.
They're in charge. They always get the last word, that's for sure.
Isn't that great, too? That's a phrase you don't hear here in Milwaukee. Busting your hiney.
Right.
Seven to nothing Atlanta. Ninth inning, Claudio Vargas takes over for Parra. Doug Davis started. He's on the hook for the loss. Tommy Hanson has a chance to finish this game, although Atlanta has some activity in their bullpen. Brooks Conrad batting for the first time. He pinch ran for Chipper Jones in the 6th. So a couple of things to follow as Jesse Chavez gets loose. Brian Braun left this game with an elbow injury, left elbow contusion. Jones out of the game. He's been missing action lately with a groin strain, so we'll see how those injuries play out for tomorrow. Claudio Vargas, third Brewer pitcher, trying to finish it up here in the 9th. Vargas was back to his old Houdini ways in Los Angeles. In the 2007 season, when Vargas was a starter for Milwaukee, we don't have the numbers to back it up, but you have to trust us. It seemed like he got out of bases loaded jams all the time as he walked Conrad. I remember one instance in Houston when he started. He got out of 3 bases loaded jams, twice with bases loaded and nobody out without any run scoring. And we dubbed him the Magic Man that year. And then in Los Angeles last week, got out of one of those jams. And the Brewers looked like they were in trouble. Vargas did his thing. Troy Gloss, the batter. He homered in the 6th inning. He started a 6-run 6 with that home run to center field. His 3rd of the year. And that's a base hit. Second hit for Troy Gloss. Well, he started that 6th. The man who ended the 6th with a big blast, Martin Prado, and he is our Menards player of the game. 2 hits, 5 RBIs, had 7 ribbies to start the day. 5 in this game alone. Matter of fact, 5 RBIs in consecutive at-bats. Had an RBI single to put the Braves on the board in the 5th.
And an error in that inning allowed Prado the opportunity to hit that grand slam. That was a 3-0 game at that point. Turned it to 7-0.
And thus Doug Davis's line, 5 2/3, 6 runs, 3 earned. 2 on, nobody out for McCann. Popped him up. Escobar will make the call. Infield fly rule call. Write that down. We could ask the umpires about the infield fly rule as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's not that obvious. You got to be camped under the baseball. If you're running for it, and nobody really feels as though they got a beat on it, they're not going to call the infield fly. So now we don't have to ask Bruce.
You just answered it. That's like giving away the trivia question, Rock. Bruce Rimming gave me some notes here, some topics of discussion. So we'll have plenty for you.
It's like interviewing the president.
I know. There's been a briefing.
List of questions.
No, it's not like that.
I'm kidding.
Sort of. Kind of like
fun.
that. It's kind of like that.
And Bruce is wonderful, too.
Second wonderful of the night. Gentler, softer Bill Schroeder today.
Yeah, I tell you, 11-day road trip, I'll do it to you. Brewers got to get into the same routine at home that they have on the road. Of course, they haven't had many opportunities to get into a routine at home. Just getting off of a stretch of 22 out of 28 days away from Miller Park.
Yeah. Little pop up into left. Garrett is out there. Came in for Braun last inning. And 2 outs.
Of course, the schedule turns around nicely for the Brewers in June and July. The Brewers are here this week and then head off again for a week. Another 3-city trip. Cincinnati for 2. Pittsburgh for 2. And Minnesota for 3.
4 and 8. And 3 outs away from 4 and 9 here at Miller Park. Hard to figure.
And no team in the National League has played fewer home games at this point than Milwaukee. See the Houston Astros with 22 home games already.
And off to a rough start. They lost the first 8 to begin the year. Brad Mills, their new manager. Astros are at the bottom of the division. The Cardinals at the top. St. Louis a 3.5 game lead over the Reds. 4.5 over the Brewers to start play. Cardinals are off tonight. Phillies lead the Rockies 5-4. Dodgers and the Diamondbacks are underway. Diamondbacks lead 2-1. I checked that the Dodgers lead 2-1. I beg your pardon. The Dodgers scored a run in the 3rd inning to take the lead. A couple of home runs in that game. Loney for the Dodgers and Chris Young for the D-backs. The Reds have beaten the Pirates 2-1. Cincinnati now 2 games over 500. We talked about Steven Strasburg with the Washington Nationals and when his arrival will come. But how about Aroldis Chapman for the Reds? The 2-0. A strike. That was a picture of contentment, right? A man alone at a ballpark with his cooler. Good seats, hey, buddy? Just doesn't understand how can the Braves come in here and score 7 runs?
Actually, he doesn't look too content to me. Looks a little irritated.
It does.
That might not be a throwback jersey. That might have been the jersey he actually wore. Looks like a football player.
Yeah. 2-2. Vargas trying to get through this 9th. Into right field, a base hit. They'll send the runner. Inglett's throw to the plate is late, and it's an RBI single for Matt Diaz. And it's 8-0 Braves.
Now pitch up in the strike zone. Matt Diaz able to get in the hit column. High fastball. He slices it into right field. A little bit of an inside-out stroke. Not sure if it was by design or not, but scores a run.
Problem here is Vargas didn't have the bases loaded to get out of a jam. So an RBI for Diaz, just his 5th of the year. And here's McLeod. Tomorrow it's Dave Bush against Tim Hudson. Hudson's been terrific as well. Hanson and Hudson pitching well for the Braves this season. Hudson has a .282 earned run average. And like Hanson, not getting much run support. There's the matchup. Dave Bush coming off a successful start and hoping to build it here. The Brewers in Game 2 against Atlanta.
Yeah, that earned run average for Dave Bush, up in the 4s, really because of one start against the Cubs here at Miller Park. He's been pretty good this year. And we'll probably have to contend with him, Jason Hayward.
Yeah, Bobby Cox said Hayward will be back in the lineup tomorrow. Looks like he wants in tonight with the batting gloves on. 20-year-old phenom. The Cubs called up their young shortstop, Starlin Castro. What a debut he had. 7 RBIs.
Yeah, not bad.
Something else. Another 20-year-old.
Yeah, he can hit. Now, the Cubs have been just waiting for Castro to get to the big leagues.
A pop-up. Weeks will make the call. Inning over. 8-0 Braves. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Jody Garrett, Prince Fielder, and Casey McGee.
You have to be thankful for everything you get. The minute that you start thinking that baseball owes you something, your attitude and your performance just goes straight downhill. So I'm thankful for everything that I get. I'm thankful for every start I have and for every at-bat I have. And that probably comes with, being injured and missing a few years from injury and just being, staring in the abyss and saying, I'm not ready to retire yet and coming back. And so I'm thankful for everything I get.
Good perspective from Jody Garrett, Stanford grad, Illinois native, and getting a chance to hit here in the 9th inning. Came in for Braun defensively. Ryan Braun injured his elbow. He was hit by a pitch, tried to stay, but had to leave this game early. Jesse Chavez is on the mound. And when you think about Ryan Braun and Jesse Chavez, takes you back to the 2008 season. One of the most memorable home runs ever hit here at Miller Park was a grand slam by Ryan Braun against the Pirates. Jesse Chavez was the man who delivered the pitch in that late September game.
Hanging slider, never forget it.
Extra inning win for Milwaukee as they pursued the Mets and made it into the postseason. Final numbers on Tommy Hanson. 8 innings, 4 hits, no runs, just 1 walk, and he punched out 8.
As advertised. They said coming into the start that he's been throwing the baseball well.
Garrett called out on strikes. Well, we'll be tracking this on Brewers Live, get some kind of reaction. Left elbow contusion is the report from the clubhouse. Ryan Braun drilled by Hanson fastball. And tried to stay, actually got another at bat, but had to leave early, especially in a 7-0 ball game at the time. Well, we hope Ryan's going to be all right. Been a long night for the skipper. Braves have more runs than they do hits. 8 runs on 7 hits. The Brewers just 4 hits.
Seems like the way the season's been going. I mean, they have a series where they score a ton of runs, and then all of a sudden they just come up flat. That stuff happens. The Brewers have already been shut out 4 times this year.
Fielder, a little flare, and McLeod slides, can't get it. Prince with another base hit. So 2 hits for Fielder. Hasn't gotten Goodwill on either of them, but they count. They all even out, and Fielder looking for a little reaction in that dugout. A Texas leaguer here, Ron.
I don't know, is it? I don't think that's a Texas leaguer. That's a dying quail, actually. I don't know the origin of that either. Texas leaguer is more of a pop-up.
That's a Texas leaguer through and through.
Really? Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. As long as you're defining the term, it's okay.
That's right. Casey McGee launches one. Deep left center. This one's got a chance, and it's gone. Casey McGee. Home run number 7. And the Brewers are finally on the board here on the 9th.
That just goes to show you how good Tommy Hanson was tonight. Now, it's always the question, was the pitcher that good or the offense that flat? A fastball down the middle, and Casey McGee doesn't miss it. Yet another homer for Casey, this one to left center. And 2 more RBIs for 30 on the season.
And that is a team high. McGee passes Ryan Braun for runs batted in. Those 2 are tied at 28 to start the day. McGee now with 30. In game number 32. McGee with 2 hits tonight. Braun and McGee started the day 3rd in the National League in runs batted in. Andre Ethier leads the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. Ethier has 32. Jorge Cantu with 29. So at this point, McGee is 2nd in the league as Chavez strikes out Edmonds. Talking to the man who shared the RBI crown last year, Prince Fielder, at 141. He and Ryan Howard finished the year with 141 ribbies. Those 2 spend a lot of time having that kind of conversation.
Right.
Before games, during games, after games. There's been an interesting connection between Fielder and McGee.
Yeah, they've been very close since Casey joined the ball club last year.
Two outs. Here's Escobar. Rock tonight in Detroit. They had Ernie Harwell night. Celebrate the life of Ernie Harwell.
Yeah.
It was a great night. Hope you get a chance to check some of the highlights. Tigers beat the Yankees tonight as well on Ernie Harwell night. a fitting finish for Detroit. No balls, 2 strikes on Escobar. A couple of other American League games. Just 3 American League games on the schedule. Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-6. Red Sox all of a sudden playing good baseball. Swept the Angels last week. The Angels are 5 games under 500. Hard to believe. They lead the Rays 1-0 tonight in the 3rd inning. How about the Tampa Bay Rays getting perfect gamed in back-to-back years?
Yeah.
Mark Burley last year and Dallas Braden yesterday. Pop-up ends the ball game. So the Braves come in here. They win the opener. A final of 8-2. Stay with us now. Brewers Live is coming up next, sponsored by Lincoln Mercury right after this.